Hello, everybody, and welcome to the final map pool showcase of 5 Digit World Cup 2024, the Grand Finals map pool. Finally here. It has been I think a long week. I think all of the poolers and the playtesters have been very excited about this one. It's going to be a hell of a time to present. My name's Tyken, and joining me is, of course, Miles. Miles, how you doing?
Hey Taikani, glad to be back. Unfortunately couldn't be here last week because I was in Canada for some reason, but now I am back in my humble abode here, ready to look at this stupid ass No Mod 1 that Rob is about to show.
Yeah, I'd say stupid ass is the way to describe it. I think a lot of the No Mod 1s this tournament have been very standard. Finals we saw kind of an exploration, right, with Grief and Malice and having more of that raw aim. And our No Mod 1 this week turns that up to the max.
Yeah, it's like they're kind of there's two lions inside of me when it comes to this No Mod 1. One that is screaming based as loud as it can, and the other one like, no, why? No, what are you doing? Stop, no, stop the replay, cut this shit, no!
Yeah. It's certainly an interesting pick. Not peak, sorry. Maybe peak.
It is peak, it is peak.
So this one, 183 BPM. I doubt anybody gets walled on the tapping. This map though is famously hard for its aim. I mean, this is a Hollow Wings classic, right? And for 5 minutes, this is the one of two maps in the No Mod pool above 3 minutes. For 5 minutes, your consistency on some really just whack AR9 aim will really be tested.
This map is one of the maps in the game that I would claim to have aura, in that, like, this map, it just kind of exudes something. It might be the song, it might be kind of the notoriety as this at such a long-time tourney pick. You'd see it in Free Mod, you'd see it as Tiebreaker way back in the day. Now coming here at No Mod 1. Also boasts some unique difficulty aspects about it, like, you know, it's not every day you see an AR9 No Mod 1. It could be dense for some players in this tournament. And then you also have the awkward aim. The fact that this map is so popular, you might have some mind block effect. Like, this map in a map pool is just demonic because there's so much that can trip you up.
Yeah, absolutely. It was meant to be a true aim challenge. I think we've really been lacking on that the entire tournament. I feel like, with the exception of a little bit of Grief and Malice, I feel like a lot of the aim maps that we've pooled just haven't been aim enough, haven't been specialist enough, where a lot of our other skill sets we've luckily been able to find a lot of maps that appeal to specialists. I think this is one that you have to be an aim player to enjoy, which has always been the goal of the aim pick, and it just feels like finally we found the right pick for that.
But this map also does have a few one-shot patterns located at, honestly, pretty good spots for tournament use. You have 1/3 mark, 2/3 mark, and then the slider stream right after that. So not really in a place to where it could really remove the tourney viability of the map, but we're about to get into the first one. These wide angle jumps that appear twice throughout the map, notably difficult compared to the rest of the aim of the map, in my opinion.
Yeah, there are a couple aim sections that reach about that kind of peak, but those patterns, I think they stand out just because of what's around them, right? What's around them is not nearly as hard as those. But you know, a couple times you'll hit those aim peaks. If it was just that, if it was just one, this map would absolutely not be usable. But luckily there's enough that it's like this map is completely usable.
Yeah, no. Now that I'm sitting here and watching it, me and my Byakuren PFP on Ozu, I can say with a big smile on my face that this is based.
Dude, this is the best map in the game. I have believed that for many a year, and I will continue to. I love this map to death. Yeah, thank you to Kali for the replay as well. A lot of the replays for the entire pool were done yesterday, so shoutouts to the replayers for still getting really good scores on pretty much all the maps. Holly did amazing on this one. I know there was like 5 different attempts at No Mod 1 from different players, I want to say. So Kali was able to stand out right at the end.
Mm-hmm. And now here's the second triangle jump section. Both of them, I would say, are about the same in difficulty, but still, I guess, equally brutal. This is the type of map where, I don't know, I'm personally brutally mental blocked on those, so I get the same score on this that I got in, like, 2018. So hoping for the players in this tournament that is not the case with you as well. We're about to reach the next one-shot pattern. If you manage to get through that jump section with combo, you're greeted with what many consider to be the hardest part of the map. I consider it to be not as hard. The slider stream into that stream, into the full screen jump. Absolutely a combo killer.
Yeah, I believed in like 2020 that was just straight up unhittable. It's certainly hittable. Scorpion 2 makes it harder. I mean, obviously you're going to be taking your act on those sliders a little more. But with how much of an act challenge this map isn't a lot of the time, I'm not particularly worried about it. It can still be difficult. And then you finally get into the climactic section of the map where the aim is just constantly there until the end of the map. You kind of have those expanding jumps with the sliders that really test your ability to just hit across the screen with your aim.
And this spike at the end with the song peaking, it makes for such an intense atmosphere, and I'm really hoping to see some close points on this map because it's just so iconic. One of the iconic playing fields of this game, and, having a close point on that would just make for such a highlight moment.
Yeah, but that is No Mod 1. Again, it's 5 minutes. It's by far the longest map in the No Mod pool, and we can move on into the No Mod 2. This one, I think, much more standard of a pick. Gardens Under a Spring Sky map by Fairy. This one, a 195 BPM, so keeping with the around 200 BPM range for No Mod 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Fairy map looking to be a little bit of a light tech experience alongside of the streams. That's the Fairy experience, but still, first and foremost, a stream pick.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, some kick sliders every now and then. Little Fairy. That's just how he maps.
Some awkwardly shaped streams here and there. Spacing isn't always super consistent. Definitely not at all similar to the No Mod 2 from Grands last year, which was just, 200-something BPM, just space streams with shitloads of stamina. Like, this one, it's going to be a little bit more nice for, I think, the players who would get tapping gaps on something at around 200 BPM.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, surprisingly, last year's 5WC didn't go to 200 BPM even once. We learned while we were kind of checking out what we wanted to do with the No Mod 2s this year. It was like, wow, there was just no 200 BPM anywhere. So it was a big goal this year to go to 200. We actually went a little bit down for this grand finals just because the flow in this map allows it. But yeah, we do want to keep that kind of similar BPM range. This is also 2 minutes. Where I know last week's was 4 minutes long. There was a lot of complaints about the No Mod pool in general feeling really, really dragged out, really long. So this one's a little bit shorter overall.
Mm-hmm. Definitely going to be more of a flow aim check than a stamina check, I think, for the players remaining in the tournament.
Yeah.
Still probably going to see some overlap with your speed rosters on this, as it is a tapping map, but definitely something where we're going to see maybe a little more preference towards some of the all-rounders on the teams as well getting in the roster.
Yeah, this is, it's weird. It's just a mechanic pick of all time, right? Like, you have those elements from any type of mechanic, but the flow aim is the focus, and as long as you have someone who can do that, they can probably play this map.
Mm-hmm. Also, very, very nice song. Very relaxing atmosphere on that song compared to something like the No Mod 1, but we're about to get into another banger, honestly, with the No Mod 3.
Yeah, Kouzen no Himitsu. This one, Sheena Ringo. God, she's so good. I love Sheena Ringo, and Mof did her some justice with this map.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Kouzen no Himitsu, lots of great maps for this song. I think more of the local hero map set and also the nymph one as well, but this one's still a very nice alt map.
Yeah, very much. It is. Well, the idea of it was kind of go with the flow, but you also have like almost light tech elements, I would say, right? Like you have those kind of like jump scare sliders. You have a little bit of that aim control that so familiar to anyone who plays tech. So almost kind of works as a hybrid slot, I'd say.
Yeah, Moth's style of alt is just so distinctive. Like, you can't really compare this to, like, any of the, I guess, major styles of alt that you tend to see in map pools. Like, it's not necessarily awkward aim, it's not necessarily, like, heavy on the flow aim, it's just a Moth style embodiment.
Yeah. Yeah, I know a lot. When we looked at pooling this, there was actually a lot of talk about, like, is this awkward aim or not? Because it does feel a little strange if you're not familiar with the style, but I think, you know, if you're at this level, number one, you've probably played this guy's map before. Number two, you should be so comfortable with these alt BPMs that that kind of awkwardness inherent with the style shouldn't harm you in any way.
Yeah, and a little more of an explanation on the Moth style. I think a lot of people know him for, like, you know, the cut doubles, some of the stop and go patterns, the patterns that overlap on one another. Just all in the same package, just makes really a beast of a map to play in a match. There's so much to break on.
Yeah, absolutely. I do want to note this is 165 BPM as well. We actually tried this earlier in the tournament. In rank 16 with Asphyxia. And kind of a bit of an end goal of mine was to get something a little more higher BPM in Grands. I think you're just sticking at 140 the whole tournament. It's not as fun, right? Like, I think all players should have the same BPM variance that everyone else has, and I think at low rank it's a little harder to achieve that, so I'm really, really glad that we were able to find this map at 165 and still kind of in the range and really, really testing the alt skill sets, your flow aim and aim control.
Oh yeah, and then you have this awkward finger control section at the ending. Could jump scare a few players, maybe drop some accuracy here, but overall, a map shouldn't be decided by those doubles. I may be jinxing it, but I really hope it doesn't come down to that. As you know, an act drop there would be so tragic way to lose that, but nonetheless, very nice map from Moth. Very excited to see this one played. Great song.
Yeah, fast forward to next weekend, we hear Blank Tap screaming his head off as he is the first to witness the score turn over on those doubles.
Oh my god.
Anyways, that's No Mod 3. Let's move on into No Mod 4. Disparate, custom map by AJ Mosca, who is not a veteran of the No Mod 4 slot in any sense of the word. This is a very, very interesting custom, I think.
Wait, did I see that difficulty name correctly?
I think you did, Miles.
Miles' Momokai Tap Trio? You mean the one I ordered on Momokai with code 5WZ for a discount to improve my tapping enough to hit these little bursts? Why, of course. And while on the topic, you know, we might as well mention our other sponsor, Blue Bunny. Still waiting for my tablet cover from them. You know, shipping halfway across the world happens, but I used 5WC as the code, and I'm gonna get a tablet cover soon enough. Be sure to check them out.
Yeah.
I love code 5WC.
And I love AJ Mosca.
I love Osu technology.
Yeah. So this one really focused on the slider aim. Which is kind of why No Mod 3 is the way it is, you know, a little bit techier, just to kind of work alongside this, where this one is so focused on your ability to hit the huge sliders. You also have those cut bursts that can be a little troubling, but honestly, and you know, went through a couple playtesters, and it was like, everyone agrees that the difficulty of this map is just on the sliders, especially in these sections where it's 200 BPM and you have sliders going all over the screen.
Yeah, it's going to be really brutal to keep your accuracy in check on this. With the long sliders, definitely have a lot of potential to drop slider ends. While also focusing on that, you're probably going to drop some accuracy on some of the doubles as well. That cut double we just watched at the end is so brutal. It's still very nice custom from AJ Mosca.
Yeah. Let's move on into No Mod 5. This one is going to be an edit of Isolation here at AR 7.5. Just for a little bit of more of that reading flair to it. Shout out to Xcores for letting us go ahead and do the edit. It's AR 0 normally, which a little not 5WCable.
Yeah, it's a little bit difficult, but hey, I mean, we had AR 0 and 4WC a few years ago, so could have tried it.
Yeah, maybe next year.
Yeah, definitely next year. I mean, I know the reading players in this rank range are so freaking strong. They'll eat this up.
Yeah, Yoshi makes a good point in chat. This took Emerald 5 hours to grind, and he still wasn't happy with it. We had to cut him off. We had to say, no, streamer's going to bed. Please lock in your replay. he was grinding this for a long time. It is still very, very difficult, even with the AR 7.5.
Yeah, the overlap reading on this is going to be definitely the most intense that we've seen all tournament. Going to be your true reading check for anyone who considers himself to be a top-tier reading player.
Yeah, perfect stacks as well. I mean, of course, it is a no-mod map. They're not nearly as hard, but they can trip you up just in terms of how the patterning is laid out. Along with that, it's 200 BPM, which leads to quite the density, especially with the amount of 1/4 in this map. And you see on these like kick sliders, it's so difficult to tell what's going on.
Yeah, this looks brutal. Those repeating patterns, just so easy to break on.
Yeah. Shoutouts to Emerald Ages for grinding this. I don't know if I could grind a map like this for this long.
Especially for a replay.
Yeah. No, I think he was dead set on getting 1 million. Unfortunately, he didn't, but I know he was really trying. Given the score, I think he has to break around here somewhere.
But yeah, just shows the dedication our team has. Emerald Ages putting in the work. I know a lot of teams would love to have this score because, you know, if you're getting a high 500 or 600K on this, it's probably going to be one of the best scores in the lobby on this. And I'm saying that now, and someone's obviously going to FC it now to make me shut my spot up. Like, you know, this type of reading is just so brutal to actually execute on in match. Like, it's something where you could practice it for so long in solo, but then when the nerves hit you in the match, you have just one little slip up on your reading, messes you up. Score goes down the drain.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, this kind of score is like a tournament winner. It's crazy how good this score is. Shoutouts to Emerald. Shoutouts to Xcores again as well for letting us do this edit, because this map is honestly amazing.
So who are the players left in the tournament who are going to play this? So I think we've got, what, USA, Canada, Poland? Poland winners? All right, who's the best reading player left?
That's a great question. There's really good reading players still left in the tournament. It's hard to tell immediately. But that is No Mod 5.
Oh, this next map. Yo.
I knew this would be a Miles map the second we put it on.
This map is so stupid. Everyone is going to be getting 93% on this. And that would be considered good ACK, I think.
Yeah, it's difficult.
Wobbly has this thing where, you know, these rhythms are kind of like from a different dimension. Like they ain't your normal rhythms. These ain't your normal No Mod 6 rhythm. You have to alternate, you have to slider end. I don't know what I'm going with here.
You don't have to slider end, really. There's not that many.
You do have to slider end, dude. I missed so many slider ends on this.
Yeah?
I think my FC, I'm like dropped 20 slider ends or something.
Damn, alright. Maybe I'm just a tech player, I don't know.
Like, look, Emerald Ages just dropped like 5 of them. Yeah, this map is definitely the combo game map, And you know, 5-digit is the combo game rank range, so I wouldn't be surprised to see FCs on this, but the accuracy on this is just gonna be so brutal, so you need to do everything in your power to keep the combo.
Yeah, the rhythms on this, I'd actually argue that the rhythms on this are fairly logical, but it is still difficult to learn, kind of how to play this map, and if you're not like an experienced rhythm player, you're gonna have a hard time with it. It is so difficult all the way through. 160 BPM is also that weird middle ground where it can kind of switch between like tapping styles for players who can both single tap and alt. You know, it might be that you just kind of have to pick one and just stick with it because it is at a really weird BPM.
Yeah. Gonna say single tapping some of the longer sections of this is gonna be super brutal as well, because there are some quite long alt patterns in this map, but by the time we get here, you're probably safe to single tap most of the rest.
Yeah. Yeah, this one definitely all about your control. A little bit on the aim side, a lot on the tapping side. I wouldn't be surprised to see combo games on this, but I think the teams with the actual like controlled accuracy will be the ones that make it out of the dust.
You would need to execute like a perfect combo game on this to be able to outdo a team that has better accuracy. So definitely, I think you would put in the effort into learning these rhythms, learning how to hit these slider ends as well. Oh yeah, here's the next hardest finger control part of this map, I think. Or at least where your accuracy is going to drop more.
Yeah. When this map speeds up the finger control, it is just extra terrifying.
Where I've said so much to miss on other maps, this one's so much to drop ACK on. But still a lot to miss on.
But that is the end of it. It's only 3 minutes. And the end of the no mod pool as well. Let's go ahead and move on into Hidden 1. Chocolate Scramble. This one, I believe, was a custom song for Springflower Scramble Wisteria.
That would make sense. It is an Alden map.
Yeah. I saw takehirotei, I saw Alden mapped it, and I was like, yeah, it's probably a custom song. I didn't really do my fact checking on that one.
Yep, this is very Alden, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I forget. Yeah, it's a Canadian tournament. Some of the Canadian players here might be familiar with it. So I think this one's kind of famous for a slider that's 2 minutes in. It's shaped like an Among Us crewmate. But aside from that one slider that trips people up, this one is known as kind of like a mech tech pick, and that was our goal for Hidden 1. So obviously no mod 1 is Sentimental Skyscraper. So Hidden 1 couldn't just be an awkward aim map, it would overlap way too much. So we decided to go with something mech tech, which I think worked in tandem with the Hidden 3 that we'll see as well. This was actually one of the last picks to go into the pool. But it's still very aim heavy, and you can see it in this TI where you have a lot of those like square patterns coming through, and you have a lot cross screen. 183, so it's not crazy, but can still be very, very strenuous at least.
Definitely, and you know, adding some more of that aim strain to the pool, as you mentioned, goes in tandem with No Mod 1, and definitely with the HR1 that I'm seeing on the pool as well. Although this one, I think you're going to be seeing a different type of crowd want to pick this. It's definitely going to be whatever team is more advantageous on the more technical skill sets, because this definitely leans more in favor of that mech tech, as you were saying, than something like a aim map like a No Mod 1 or a Hard Rock 1.
Yeah, I think something interesting that this map does with its doubles that it puts all over the map that go onto the sliders is often they'll come right off of a big aim pattern, so you're actually forced to stop really quickly. So there's, even though it's not what people would call an aim control pattern, it is a pattern that forces you to control your aim. It's very interesting with how often they appear. And then there's the Among Us slider. You have to stay right where you clicked it. There is no slider tick. You can't just stay right there.
Dos. Cooler is imposter for rigging the map for Canada.
Alright, man.
we are voting Taikani off the ship. Thank you for your services.
Damn. It's over.
It is so over.
Hey, it's okay. I got the last pull in. We're chill. I can be voted off the ship now. I'm good. I'll leave the server.
Cooler has done
the Genryu Kaika reference. We joked that this really does go in tandem with Hollow Wings No Mode 1. It's just a Hollow Wing section of its own.
Yeah, definitely the first map in a while where I think the accuracy is probably going to be relatively stable on this one. I mean, since No Mod 3, we've had a long slew of maps that are very difficult to hack. I think this one we're probably going to be seeing some higher accuracies, so pretty cool. All right, Hidden 2.
Heartache Debug. This one was a custom for Corsace 2022. It was a no-mod map. Putting this one in Hidden this time. Kinda demon.
Yeah, I mean, Errol reading map, you know it's going to be super brutal with the aim control.
Yeah. Luckily, none of the 1/4 is actually stacked. It's actually like these really, really small spacing, so it shouldn't ever be hard to read. Every perfect stack should be pretty discernible rhythm, and not, is this 1/2, is this 1/4, is this 1/1? Whereas it's just going to be 1/2 and 1/1, so you don't have to worry about the 1/4, which is very, very nice for a map this hard. And you can kind of see the main difficulty of it in this section, where you have a lot of these kind of weird stops. I think if you know the song, it certainly helps. You can kind of tell the logic behind how this is mapped, being, you have the big sliders on those base hits, and then there's like a marimba in the back that he's following with the circles, but it can still be difficult to read.
Yeah, definitely something where, as you said, it benefit from knowing the song on this one. But this map does throw a lot of those stop and go patterns at you. Definitely the point of contention on this, but also a few streams as well, which are notably difficult on low AR. Very much of an opportunity to chain miss on those.
Yeah, the spacing is certainly demon, and it's hard. Especially those like build-up streams. I think the build-up streams are actually the hardest patterns in the map mechanically. Maybe not reading-wise, but as you said, chain miss central.
Yeah, then you get into this drop with more base, more kick sliders, more of those space triples, stop and go and overlap on each other. It's just a very tricky map overall.
Yeah, this is the huge density check of the map. Luckily, it's 5.75. It's not anything crazy mechanically, but the combination of the density with that kind of patterning, it's very, very difficult, and you're gonna need to have a star-studded reading roster for this kind of map.
But I do believe that all 3 teams remaining do have insane reading rosters, so I think this map will end up seeing its usage in at least a few teams per text.
Yeah, for sure. No, I'm very, very excited to see these 3 remaining teams play all the maps in this pool, dude. I was like thinking about it last night. Like, I cannot wait for the grand finals matches.
I mean, there is no better competition in Osu than in a World Cup grand finals weekend. So much competition. Everyone's trying their hardest. Just feel like all of the situations in community tournaments where like people throw just don't happen because everyone is trying their ass off to win this for their country.
Yeah, that is the end of Hidden 2, though. Let's move on into Hidden 3. So this one is kind of like this one had a really weird direction from the start, just with how it's balanced around Hard Rock 3. So the kind of idea was to have that like aim control alt map where we don't really have it in No Mod 3. So this one super focused on the snaps, and less techy, which is why Hidden 1 is kind of there to work alongside this map. But at 172 BPM, I don't think anyone's really getting walled on this as far as tapping goes. It's just, can you consistently hit those snaps with Hidden?
Yeah, very much a control pick in all senses. Like, you have the finger control, you see those 1/6 bursts, you have the aim control with the sliders, overlapping on top of one another. Fair amount of reading as well. Definitely a very well-balanced hidden pick.
Yeah, for sure. This one actually we had a replay. We thought this was a 2 a.m. ping to the replayers. Like, hey, turns out Yoshi Lover got the replay on a version of this map from like 2019. And so we had to get a new one. So shoutouts to Emerald for stepping up after grinding No Mod 5 and just getting a replay in like 2 tries for this map.
Super clutch. Emerald Ages, that guy, one of the most dedicated replayers we have for 5WC this year, so huge shoutouts to him and Yoshi Lover.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the hardest point in the map right there, where you kind of get the flow incorporated with a little bit of that aim control as well. But then afterwards, it just goes back to the snaps that you see in the intro, so it's not a crazy demon map mechanically.
Definitely going to be a early pick for some of the more gimmick-focused teams remaining.
Yeah, that is Hidden 3 in the Hidden Pool. Let's go ahead and move on into Hard Rock 1. So this one is meant to work really, really well along the No Mod 1. So No Mod 1 it's lower BPM, it's awkward to aim. This is very, very standard aim at 218 BPM. So kind of an opposite to No Mod 1 in some sort of way, right? It's fairly understandable patterning. Higher BPM, I think higher than a lot of people are used to playing for Hard Rock. But the AR-10 means it's not ever really a density challenge either.
Yeah, and this is also going to be the most conventional aim map in the pool so far, at least when put in comparison with Sentimental, Skyscraper, and the Hidden One. This one is going to be the pick for the comfy aim teams.
Yeah, it's... I think, yeah, this is one of the most stock standard maps we could pull, but it is still very, very good. Shizuku is a great mapper. And it's a very constant difficulty. If you look at that diff graph, it is almost the same thing the entire time. As far as contrast goes, like, it's not really the spacing that gets contrasted in this map, more so the rhythm. There is some tough streams like we saw right there. They can throw you off if you're not on your game. They aren't crazy hard to flow. They are still, 218, so they can't be like too high spacing, but can definitely provide some trouble if you hit those angles wrong.
Definitely going to provide a slight tapping gap there, being 218 BPM, but streams aren't too long, so definitely, as long as you know they're coming, you should at least be able to mash through those, even if you have trouble with the tapping, and also the OD10 will help you get through them.
Yeah, God, OD10's so nice.
OD10 is awesome. You're able to like mash things that you aren't actually supposed to be able to hit and then just get through them instead of note locking.
For so long, I just didn't play any tapping maps because I wasn't good at them. And then I started playing Laser, and then I noticed wait, I'm not getting note locked anymore. And then I go back to standard and I just start playing OD10, and I was like, wait, tapping is fun with OD10. When there's no note lock and I can kind of just mash.
Yeah, also another great thing with Laser, you can speed up maps that you can play up to your maximum BPM. So say you like a map, but it's 180 BPM, just speed that shit up to 220, and then you're always pushing tapping, even when playing maps you can play.
Yeah, I've been saving a bunch of farm maps for whenever they add variable DP speed for PP, that I'm just gonna farm at 240. Dear God, Don, Wizard Tower, all the classic aim farm maps, they're just there for whenever that variable speed thing is PP legal, because I love that. Now, end of the map, 3 minutes. A lot of the maps in this pool are right at 3 minutes or 2 minutes. We tried not to repeat what happened last pool, where a lot of players were very unhappy with the length of the first half of the pool. So 40 minutes, that's all there is for Hard Rock 1. Let's move on into Hard Rock 2.
Got Wrinkle, another song that I think has made its rounds through the tourney scene. HR2, this is going to be some nice old low BPM alt on the precision. And you know, low BPM precision means you're going to have very low density on this. You're going to be only seeing a few notes on screen at once, maybe only 1 or 2. So it's going to feel maybe a little bit higher than AR10 if you aren't necessarily an HR comfort player, more so an HR fill player. So definitely one that you should put your practice into before even seeing the rest of this map.
Yeah, I think anyone who knows my opinions on Hard Rock is alt BPM is like the true precision BPM. It is very, very alienating. If you don't pain Hard Rock, basically. And with CS 6.5, you know, it's pretty standard stuff, but, I mean, last time we saw an alt BPM, it was Levitation Nation, and it was CS 6.1, so this one kind of crossing the threshold over to the expected CS, but at a much, much harder BPM to actually consistently hit.
To answer a question in chat, yes, this is single tappable because I had to play this in 4WC World Cup Grand Finals like 4 years ago, and it was a different set of this in no mod, and I single tapped it after practicing it on alternating, and I was like, wait, why is this map so much easier now?
Yeah, this is a single tap song. I think so. It is 150 BPM. I think though that the melody is to a 1/3 rhythm. So it's like actually not like 150 BPM alt tapping. It's not you're single tapping 300 BPM, but still, the thing you said about no density is absolutely true still. And even more so at 1/3, yeah, where it's just so difficult.
Warning, when you hear do-do-do-do-do-do-do, prepare to single tapping 160 beats per minute. Oh yeah, and this ending, very easy to act drop on.
Yeah.
Be careful about that. I wonder if this set maps the funny ending of the song. Okay, it doesn't. There's more to this song.
I think this is a cut version for OC Beat Mapping World Cup.
No, here, right now.
Oh!
The one I played mapped that part, and it was in like the bottom left corner. And I just remember I remember forgetting that was there and like missing because it was in the bottom left.
Yeah. That is Hard Rock 2 though, just 2 minutes. Let's move on into Hard Rock 3. Oh my gosh, I was still looking at the semifinals pool and I thought we had pulled Usewa again. Libertas, this one Hard Rock Tech. At also an alt BPM, although this one definitely not single tappable like like Wrinkle. 160 BPM aim control tech.
Yeah, I'd like to see someone try to alternate this. I mean, I guess looting makes it possible, but you would have to be a demon and you would run out of stamina so quickly because this one actually has some proper streams in it as well.
Yeah. Control you have to exhibit on this is so tough. There's also a little bit of finger control alongside that aim control. Pops up in a couple places, a couple 1/6 patterns that go alongside this. Also, just your general slider aim is very, very tough. A great song though, Zach, always with the bangers.
Libertas, such a tourney classic. Another song that has really been around the scene in a bunch of different sets. And now this specific one coming to 5WC.
Yeah. Here's where it really, really gets tough. This is where I think a lot of breaks will come through just because of the spacing between the patterns. Not actually the spacing on the patterns themselves, but just as you go between the big sliders, there's a lot of those large jumps that are so hard to hit consistently on Hard Rock.
Definitely one of the harder maps we've seen in the pool so far. But still, I think nothing in this overtly unfair. Just, you know, every pool needs a hardest map.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the flow on this, combined with the slider aim, really makes this a tough package to get in a full match. Especially combined with those 1/3 you just saw, those triangle jumps. gonna be super brutal, but you know, the one player on your team that's gonna be able to play this, that player is gonna get to shine on this. Definitely a map for the carry players. All right, and now another banger has hit the map pool with our double time one.
Yeah.
Foo Fighters.
The original Pretender. I remember I thought for many years the Infected Mushroom one was the original. I was a little too O2 brain until my first job. My coworker was just blasting this in the back of the store, and I was like, oh my god, this is the greatest thing ever. I love this version of Pretender. I think now I prefer this to the Infected Mushroom version that's still familiar on Osu.
Yeah, Taikeni. I thought that when I was like 13 and didn't know what the Foo Fighters were. And then I figured out this one existed like very quickly, but honestly, every version of this song is really good.
Yeah, it's just a great song.
And anyways, I'm seeing chat rejoice about the lack of Arrowgate DT1 after so many weeks. No Arrowgate, no Love Live so far in this pool.
Yeah, I mean we had Dale 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 in DT1 last week. I don't think we have any Arrowgate in this pool at all. Nor Love Live, but I think that's expected. I got my 2 Love Live songs. I'm happy.
Took your opportunities.
I did.
Yeah, this map is going to be very much, I think, a DT player's map, where, you know, with this length, this approach rate, this BPM, you really have to be comfortable on all the things that you really associate with DT in order to get a good score on this map.
Yeah, absolutely. I think kind of full flavor. It is everywhere. Everything that you want for a DT1, I'd say. And it never really gets easier. This is really the only point that you have to breathe in the entire map.
Yeah, and you have to keep your cursor stationary for a lot of it, so it's not like you're really going to want to re-grip there either.
Yeah. No, it's so difficult. I really like this pick. I think this is one of the first picks that we put in the pool, and it stayed the entire time, just because it is so good. You have this one break to adjust your cursor, adjust your grip before the last PI, which also contains the hardest part of the map.
Not much more to say about this one, honestly. It kind of speaks for itself. Very much your DT1, lots of aim, a couple of bursts here and there. But I think real focus is going to be that comfort on the 10.3 and the BPM.
Yeah, this kind of last stand of the song also happens to be the hardest part just because of those 1-2s right at the end. But hopefully, I'm hoping that at this level, not everyone's FCing until the very end of the map for that to determine it. That is the end of the map. Yeah.
Especially on
generational
on
the WC clip.
On DT, when, like, you know, I feel like DT is the most definitive because of the high multiplier, but if it does come down to the ending, that could make for some very intense points.
Yeah, that is DT1. Let's move on into DT2. This one kind of normally a No Mod 3 song. I don't know what happened here, but we're at Childish Killer DT2.
This is either Core States or OWT, I think, is where this map originated.
I want to say OWT? Yeah, OWT 2020.
This was one of the earlier DTs, but yeah, this is your stamina map. If you were wondering where the stamina was in No Mod 2, you are going to be finding it right here.
Yeah. Yeah, shoutouts to Lucid, by the way, for ranking both the Yaspo and Jonezen dip along with his own, because they're all so good. This one, of course, Yaspo dip and 232 BPM stamina, which is something this pool definitely needed. I think a lot of the tap map, just because Fremod 1 is where we put the quote-unquote no-mod speed. So it feels like a lot of the tapping maps are very backlogged in the pool. So by the time we get to this, it's like, oh, thank God, there's tapping in the pool. They didn't forget.
Yeah, another map that I think is really self-explanatory. Just your real stamina check here. Made for the specialists.
Yeah, a little bit of a farm map, I'd say. Maybe half jokingly, maybe fully serious, little bit of a farm map for the speed players. But it's still very, very difficult nonetheless. It is AR 9.7, you're not going to have any difficulty reading this. But again, it is just the difficulty of 232 stamina. What a good song as well.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here jamming out right now, honestly.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the fighting games that Daisuke does. It's rare though to see a Blaze Blue track with vocals. I think most of the time when you see a Daisuke Ishiwatari song, it's non-vocals, Blaze Blue, vocals, Guilty Gear. So it is weird to see one of the very, very few Blaze Blue vocal songs with Marydale Sanchez vocals at that.
Yeah, once again, another reminder that if you can't tap this, you just have to buy a 5WC tap trio. If you don't have that tap trio, you're not going to be able to play this map. So this is unfortunately the one paywalled map in this map pool. So be sure to check out Momokai and get that tap trio.
I wasn't ready for that one.
We'll
make up for last week.
I have to make up for the lack of last week, man. Like, come on.
Yeah, and you know what? We'll have a little more tapping on DT3 as well. I'm Tight, map by Woey.
Are you now?
Well, Woey is.
Woey.
Lewis Cole is.
Lewis Cole might be. Yeah, this map is a little bit crazy. That's the words I'm gonna describe this.
Yeah, this was, we actually planned to put this in last week originally, but decided it was a little too demon. So, moved it up, very, very heavy finger control, 210 BPM.
I wouldn't even call it just finger control. This also boasts a decent amount of aim control inside of it as well, so. And some of these rhythms as well are kind of something you might need to learn if you aren't already aware of the song.
Yeah, Lewis Cole, I think he's known for a little bit of the weirder songs, and I love them. I love Lewis Cole songs. But it's like, if you're not familiar with his musical style, maybe you're not gonna be familiar with the weirder rhythm to this. It's not just like there's doubles everywhere. There's a lot of that kind of shifting rhythm where you're gonna see a lot of 1/3 come through. No, there isn't any 1/6, I don't think. But it's strange regardless.
This map, I like to say it follows the trend that Heart of Night set all of those years ago. Very notable COASTLINE finger control map that feels a little bit like this, where just brutal finger control and you really need to know what it is mapped to in order to get a good score on it.
Yeah. Yeah, really good map though. Sometimes I forget, like, I know Woey as a player, right? I forget that he can map, and he can map good.
Yeah, I mean, someone who's played, like, as many maps as he has, one of the highest play count players in the game, he knows what makes a good map.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, it's not just play count, but he also just, like, knows mapping fundamentals, right? And he's good. He understands, I think a lot of mappers who don't play might not understand just in the combination of those fundamentals with his gameplay experience.
Like, as much as a lot of this map is very awkward, some of the rhythm choices very weird, some of the cuts very awkward, none of it feels unintuitive. And it's all something that feels very learnable. Nothing feels like a very awkward spike within these where, you know, sometimes if you put a random cut somewhere, that could end up being such a random diff spike even when the song doesn't really call for it. You don't really see that with Wowie maps ever.
Yeah, no. It's it's nice to have this kind of style. It is long. 4 minutes 36 is yeah, 36.
Yeah.
416 dream time. Okay, that was like, wait, no, something's wrong. Yeah, 16 dream time. This is the second longest map in the pool behind Nomad 1. Though of course, being in DT, it's kind of auto-balanced by the other maps around it being short. But it's still difficult to go on for this long.
Yeah, definitely one where you need to keep your focus for the entire thing because it just doesn't really ever let up.
Yeah.
And also with this length, you just have so much. If you just have a lapse in focus for half a second like our replayer did right there, you could find any random miss.
Yeah, this is Zayfrost, by the way. I think this is the only DT map he didn't get an FC on. Because he's kind of just the GOAT.
Yeah, I mean, OWC player missing on this DT, if that doesn't tell you how hard it is, then I don't know what to say.
Yeah. Anyway, still very, very good replay. I mean, what, 823k? Still ridiculous.
Definitely could be a map winning score if you manage to get this combo in the match.
Yeah. But also nearing the end of the map finally, after 4 minutes worth of non-stop finger control. Again, shout out to Zayfrost for the replay. Let's move on into DT4.
Another tourney classic, but not in the way you expect it. Zetsubo no Fuchi's insane diff, not the top diff, which is the one that I think has been pooled in every tournament. It's still a very cool DT map.
I mean, if you know the top diff, you might know how this goes. This is kind of just Mo's style. He loves doing this, where everything kind of falls on these lines for a very, very long time. And we really, really like that for DT4, where you actually have a little bit of speed involved. It's 261 BPM. You have a couple bursts, but it's about the same level of speed as DT1. But the AR 10.3 reading is really the focus of this map. You're going back and forth on those lines a lot of the time, and you're gonna have to read like these weird perfect stack patterns, which may seem fine at AR 10.3, but when you actually play it, like, it's a little weirder than you might expect.
Yeah, you know, some of these patterns would be pretty awkward to read on hidden even. I mean, if the top diff says anything about this set, but you are right in that this just kind of feels like a little bit of a little brother to the top diff.
Yeah. No, I thought it was just the gimmick of that one map, and then I just looked at, like, the day I saw the top diff, I just thought it was that gimmick. I looked at Mo's maps and was like, no, he just likes to do this. This is just what he does. Okay.
Yeah, lots of linears, and also at AR 10.3, like, feels kind of like a reverse reading pick in a way. Like, you know, something I like to say is that some of the most fun DT maps you'll ever play is if you just slap DT on the AR8 maps you play in tournament. I feel like this kind of has that effect.
Yeah, which is really funny because this was AR9. Like, it's so strange to try and describe how this map works. It kind of just does.
Yeah, but nonetheless, definitely going to be a map that favors the speed teams, as DT as 10.3 at 261 BPM does.
Yeah. No, DT is definitely more oriented towards high BPM players this week. You know, trying to appeal to specialists on DT a little more. That is it. That's the end of the DT pool. Let's move on into Fremont 1. Memoria Ficta, speed map of choice this week. Map by Rollpan. This one, I can't remember what tournament this was. Coffee Hispanic. This was a custom for Coffee Hispanic Mocha. And it's just super hard on that speed.
Yeah, Fremont speed trend continues. And definitely is going out with a bang in this Grand Finals pool all the way up at 250 BPM. It's definitely going to be a true speed map.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you're looking at 250 BPM bursts on Hard Rock. Little scary. AR 9.6 shouldn't provide too much of a crazy challenge for Hidden, for No Mud, but you know, the mechanics of this map speak for itself.
Very curious to see what the mod spread will be on this. Being fairly conventional, I think we're going to see a very typical mod spread. But still, at 250 BPM, are we going to see any easies on this?
South Korea was eliminated, so no.
Oh.
That's what I'd say. I could. It's possible. I'm not going to completely rule out of the question. But the easy team was unfortunately just eliminated in 4th place, so likely not. Yeah, this one 152 in length. So really I think the shortest of the tapping maps in general. Not a very hard length to get through, but definitely mechanically a very hard map.
Absolutely. And, you know, some of those bursts seem really long, pretty spaced as well on Hard Rock for Zytefrost. So going to be, I think, looking to those high skill cap players to take up the burden on the Hard Rock on this.
Yeah. That is Fremod 1. Let's move on into Fremod 2. I love you.
You love me?
I love you.
First I've heard of this. I mean, I remember everyone was joking about you being my husband after we did every showcase last year as well, and every match.
Every showcase for 5WC and Corsai's closed. There was a lot.
That is true, yeah. I mean, we kind of had like that 6-month stretch going.
Yeah. No, this one, this was actually a custom hidden too for Centauria, which is really weird to me that you had a CS5 aim map for that slot in Centauria, but whatever. Here, I think it works great as a Fremont C because it's a CS5 aim map with AR8.
Yeah, I mean, those always tend to make good Fremont maps because you'll have the people who opt to take in the Hard Rock, make them have lots of difficult aim. But then you add Hidden, and it just becomes really dense, and, you know, spacing on reading AR8, like with Hidden, pretty hard usually.
Yeah. It is 143, so not crazy length, but the aim is also never easy. There's kind of always just space patterns no matter what part of the song you're in. So they're very difficult all around. Shout out to Yoshi Lover for getting the hidden replay on this as well.
Yeah, this is the map we're probably still going to see some players take easy on. Except those cuts may discourage people from doing that, but still, I've learned not to ever disregard the reading skill of this rank range.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly, we've looked at so many maps. I think it's kind of inherent with Freematsu in such an easy fan kind of rank range where it's just you can't really avoid it. At some point, there will be easy players on the Freematsu, and you just gotta roll with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's Fremod 2. Let's move on into Fremod 3. Very interesting kind of pick. Low BPM flow aim, and not in the sense that Nomad 3 is. Where Nomad 3 is 165 BPM flow aim, like old patterns, aim control, whatever. This one is just flow aim at 150, 158.
Always am curious to see mod spreads on flow aim maps like this because, you know, when you add hard rock, you get like almost freaking follow point spacing, honestly. And then with hidden, you have such a high potential, you know, misread and chain miss.
Yeah. The patterning on this map also looks deceptively easy. I remember when I was sent this while we were proving that tunnel, I was like, are you like crazy? Like this map looks so free. But the reality is like, I mean, I don't want to use nerves as like a reason to pool a map. Nerves definitely come into factor on a map like this, but it's also just like you're playing hidden flowing, you're playing hard rock, near follow point spacing. Despite the BPM, this can be a very, very hard map to pull yourself on.
But still, nonetheless, I think it's probably going to be one where the teams who are picking consistency will opt into this.
Yeah.
Where you're not really, I think, going to see huge stock of carry players really making the difference on this. You're going to be looking for your full team to be putting up good scores on this if you want to pick it.
Yeah, for sure. I think this map does have two really hard dip spikes. Luckily, they're right at the beginning and right at the end. And still enough, like, substance throughout the middle that it doesn't feel like it's rather unbalanced at all. You know, I think streams like this can absolutely still find you, maybe even chain missing, you know, if you're playing hidden. It's very, very difficult all around, despite its star rating. 6.16 if you're playing no mod hidden, 6.69 if you're playing hard rock. Like, it doesn't seem like this map is as hard as it is, but it certainly is. Yeah, you do get a bit of a long break before the last TI, which is kind of nice.
Oh yeah, and the real challenge of this map is not laughing because I-Sign Kills is actually just like, their lyrics are so unserious.
I don't think I've paid attention to any night I-Sign Kills lyrics. Hold on, I gotta do some research.
Dude, It Is the End. One time I had to play It Is the End in a tournament, and me and my teammate just could not stop laughing during the map.
That's the one that's based off of the right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, that does sound hilarious. Don't give up, don't let go. That sounds ripped straight out of a Love Live song. We found the third Love Live song in the pool.
Oh my god.
This Yeah, this last stream definitely the hardest pattern in the map. I won't even lie. It is.
I saw some follow points.
Follow points. Yeah.
Follow point streams in my 5-digit World Cup pool.
It is 158 BPM.
Epic. Okay. Now, would you look at where we are in the map pool, Titani?
I indeed see where we are, and I know what the people came for, Miles. It has been no secret since the semifinal showcase that 5WC has 4 original songs. And it's been no secret as we've gone through this pool more and more that last original song was going to be our grand finals tiebreaker. Take it away. Epsilon by Cydosis is the final custom song for 5-Digit World Cup 2024. Beat map by Gordon and Fergus with some parts by myself. Just we had to finish it up, and just both of them just didn't have the time, unfortunately. But you know, Gordon and Fergus did amazing. As well as Cydosis, and the background, of course, by Bullmaster Flex as well. This one, a couple different BPMs, I want to say. I don't actually remember off the top of my head, but of course, it does say 180 on the stream, so trust that. It's, you know, very flow aim heavy, got a little bit of a tech element to it, you know, there's aim control sections, it's kind of all over the place, not in the same sense that last week's was, where last week was a lot more focused on the tech, and it was more of a multi-genre song, so the mappers were kind of experimenting in different ways, where this is just breakcore all the way through, and so it kind of has to match with that.
Yep. Poland, Canada, and United States, the three teams that have been thrust into this Grand Finals weekend. This has been your Grand Finals pool. And everything will be on the sheet shortly as we get everything uploaded and stuff. But yeah, I guess in the meantime, Taikan, you'd like to thank the team?
Yeah. Again, Cydosis and Bullmaster Flex on this map, as well as, and I'm going to just take a second to pull up some names here because there was a lot of work on the original songs in general, and I just want to give one last shout to all of them. For last week's finals tiebreaker, Naiko and Fatal Design. Naiko, of course, the song, and Fatal Design for the background. For last week's Free Mod 1, also by Cydosis, alongside this song, Neptune, song by Cydosis, and background by I'm Dracula. And finally, back in semifinals, the Hidden 3, song by Krimic, and background also by Krimic. The team, as far as original music for 5WC, put in a lot of work, and we're very, very happy with how all of the songs came out, how all of the designs came out, and with how all of the maps came out. There was a lot of work put in. But with that said, that is the end. This is the final map of this 5WC. And kind of the closing note on the showcase.
Man, Taikani, I feel like I blinked and all of these showcases just went by. Another year of doing these showcases with you. It's always a blast, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Stuff will be on the sheet as soon as we get our NoMod 5 edit uploaded, alongside Tiebreaker upload. I think it is already up, but I just gotta make sure. So stuff will be on sheet shortly. It has been such a blast pooling for this tournament, doing the showcases again with you, Miles, and we'll see you this weekend for an amazing Grand Finals weekend. Again, Poland in winners bracket, but we start off with USA versus Canada in the losers bracket side of Grand Finals. Make sure not to miss it. We'll see you then.